I first visited Six Flags Magic Mountain in February 2023. I spent 2 days there and I learned a lot of things that were very helpful for my visit. This video is mostly intended for people who are visiting Magic Mountain for the first time, but it might also be helpful for seasoned veterans. This is a lot of stuff I knew and stuff I wish I had known on my first trip to Six Flags Magic Mountain. Since you're watching this video, you're already doing your research. That's good. Keep researching. Watch a tour of the park. It really helps to know the layout and shortcuts in the park because there are lots of good nooks and crannies and Google Maps just doesn't cut it. Coaster Studios also has reviews for a lot of the rides, which can be helpful. Another, and this is optional, that's kind of applicable to all parks, but maybe get some cargo shorts with like zippers or buttons. It helps you be able to carry a water bottle and your wallet and phone and maybe some sunscreen around, and you won't have to worry about stowing a backpack or anything when you go on your rides. Just make sure your pockets are closed and you'll be fine. Next, get to the park early. This is pretty common knowledge, but you will not regret it. The park doesn't open till 10:30, so it should be pretty easy to get there by 10. The walk from the parking lot to the entrance isn't awful, but if you get there later, you'll have to walk further, and it can get awful. However, don't buy preferred parking. It might get you an extra 50 yards closer, but honestly, unless you're getting there late during a busy time of year, it's not going to be worth the extra money. Now that you've arrived, there's something important you need to know. Magic Mountain is called Magic Mountain for a reason. There's a big hill in the middle of the park, and it kind of divides the park in half. A lot of major rides are in the back of the park on either side of the hill, so prepare to walk a little. Start in the middle or the back of the park. I recommend either starting with Tatsu at the top of the hill and then going down toward West Coast Racers, or else starting with Twisted Colossus and working your way around. Whatever you do not start with X2 or Full Throttle. Unless you are a Six Flags member and the first one into the park, those are going to have the longest waits at the very beginning and die down later in the afternoon. So now that you made it to the rides, don't you dare buy a locker. If you didn't get your cargo shorts and or you have a backpack, bring it with you and leave it in the station. The only ride you can't do this is Wonder Woman, and they have lockers and bins in the middle of the queue before you get to the station, but you can also just leave your stuff on top of the lockers or on the ground next to them. X2 did used to require lockers, but now they let you do the same thing. One other thing. Scream and Batman are both pretty forceful B&Ms, and Batman in particular is pretty relentless. Both have over-the-shoulder restraints, and I didn't have any problems, but the rest of the people I was with did. My mom got a little sick after both of them from the headbanging and the forces, so they do have good capacity though, and the lines don't get awful. And you can always come back later if you have time, or skip them altogether. Now that you've ridden a few rides, I bet you're hungry. Most of the meals in the park cost about $15 as of January 2023 if you don't have a meal plan. In my experience, they're big enough to split if you want to. I split a meal with my sister and still felt pretty good after. However, they're not so big that you can't eat the whole thing by yourself. There isn't really any unique food there. It's basically just burgers and chicken and pizza, your standard amusement park food. And I would guess that this is pretty standard across the whole Six Flags chain. I do have to say that Magic Mountain is a really cool park with some amazing roller coasters and not much else. For one of Six Flags' flagship parks, I was a little disappointed about how the park was run, particularly the ride operations. Dispatches did take forever. Ride-ups lied about opening the rides. Check out my coaster story for that story. And 3 major roller coasters were closed for the whole 2 days we were there. Also, they don't really have any flat rides, and they kind of lack in the water ride section. They do have a water park, but I didn't go there. I think this park has great potential though, and I definitely enjoyed my visit. I hope you enjoyed yours. Now go have a coaster adventure.